Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to Formula Virtual Racing Academy. We're here for something different. Today it is the season finale of the feeder tier of Formula Virtual Racing. We are here for the championship finale. Still three drivers who could win it here in Singapore this evening. We have Liam Houseman, Avesta Gobadi and Luke Davies. You may recognise Liam Houseman and Luke Davies of course from the main tier. You'll recognise Avesta from some previous seasons. But we definitely are on for a great race here this evening in Singapore. My name is Evan Dalton and welcome along to the Marina Bay circuit. It should be a cracker, folks. It should definitely be a cracker. We're just waiting on a few more to get in. It'll be a fairly low turnout tonight with the new F1 2022 game out, but we'll still hopefully have a great adventure. And your lineup for tonight, of course, excluding the actual F1 drivers, but we have Miro Regibui in the Mercedes, you have Red Bull, Clive Glenn and Theo Leclerc, me, Brendan White, my co-commentator. It's going to feel a bit weird commentating on Brendan. I'm normally in the box with him. He's in Aston Martin, followed by Juan Hernandez, Liam Houseman, the current championship leader, with 94 points, leading by 12, currently in the Aston Martin. Getting going now, folks, so we'll get ready here in Marina Bay for hopefully a cracking Grand Prix, the final expedition on F1 2021 for FVRA. We'll have FVRA tomorrow at 7:30 BST, so you'll want to stick around for that. We're getting ready to go, folks, here in Marina Bay. We are readying up into the lobby now, so we will see what happens here then. Should be a good evening of racing in Marina Bay. A very interesting track is Singapore. It's definitely going to be a great race. Hopefully the occasion lives up to what it is being portrayed as. We have a three-driver championship fight between Liam Houseman, Avesta Gobadi and Luke Davies. It'll definitely be an interesting race. Avesta Gobadi, as you can see in the stream chat there, he's on pad. Still waiting for DHL to deliver his sim rig, so hopefully they can get that one around to you soon, Avesta. But yeah, he's on pad tonight, so it'll be a bit different of an experience for Avesta. That is for sure, but we're waiting on a few people to load in here. We'll get going any second now. And get ready for a cracking qualifying. We'll see the weather conditions in a few moments' time. And then we'll get going. So dry qualifying. Here in Singapore, we have 11 runners for the FVRA Singaporean Grand Prix. And we'll have to wait and see who takes the pole. Will it be one of our championship challengers? Liam Houseman with a 12-point lead. He'd need to practically just finish the race at that point, and he'd be good. It's a rain in the race, so we'll be seeing a bit of a weather front. We'll be seeing a bit of a weather front here in Marina Bay. There's the Mercedes crew coming out of the garage. You can see Alpine in front. That's Liam Houseman, the championship challenger. That's Jack Nixon in the Mercedes making his debut appearance. We can see mountain set the soft compound tyres. That is then Liam Houseman for Alpine. Still a constructors battle going on, but we won't focus on that one too much. We'll have to wait and see how that one develops. Alpine still could win the constructors championship. A lot of teams could still do it. We'll have to wait and see how that one develops. But 16 minutes 37 to go here in qualifying. and it is Liam Houseman, the championship leader we're on board with for Alpine. Alpine, they have technically won an FVRA title as a constructor, but it was under the Renault name, and the league was under the EMRL name back in our old history. There's a bit of lag there for Liam Houseman, not letting me change the camera on him, but we can see Glennon through the old Singapore sling. Oh, it's very laggy at the moment. We'll hope that fixes itself up later on in the Grand Prix. We'll pop back with Liam Houseman now for Alpine. We can report there is wet weather in the race, so keep a lookout for that. Here we go then. Liam Houseman needs to set a good lap because he wants to get on his merry way to take the championship. Here he goes then, down towards turn number 1. We'll see, he's going to be downshifting just after the 50-metre board. Third gear, rotate the car in. Very good through there, Liam Houseman. Not riding the curves too much, which you don't want to do. Accelerate down towards turn number 3, one of the more difficult corners. You want to take a little bit of apex curb. He doesn't do that, but he's going to run it right up against the wall, again avoiding the curb there. So he obviously doesn't fancy taking too much wall. Down towards turn number 4, take a little bit of entry curb, and that's an invalid lap for Liam Houseman. That has not worked. Let's go to the Red Bull racing car of Fleming Glennon. Down towards that same corner, doesn't invalidate. He's going to invalidate on the exit. Yes, that's a tricky corner we're seeing for the drivers. We'll cut to Jack Nixon. He's still on a lap here. He's going to get his first lap in, get the first lap in on the board if he can get this smoothly through the Singapore sling. It used to be, of course, a triple chicane. Very difficult for the drivers over the Anderson Bridge, heading down. Well, it just almost clipped that pillar as you're entering there. Downshift to second gear traction. Really difficult out of that corner, but we'll see here as we head down towards turn number 14. Famous corner in FVR history for those who are fans of it. You'll remember the Legend Rosenberg-Lewis McWilliams title battle came to a grimacing end there when Jack Redmond got a bit too close for comfort. Down through 17 for Jack Nixon. Not a bad lap for the Mercedes. It'll be the first time on the board as we've seen Liam Houseman invalidate his time in the Alpine. Running the final 2 corners. Of course, it is 23 corners on this, but this final one counts for 2. Short shifts to 50. You can take that with a little bit more apex speed. It'll be a 40.4, which will definitely be beaten throughout proceedings here in this Grand Prix. It's going to be Scott Sandeveer who sets another noise only on an outlap there. Didn't get a time in. We'll see if Estegobadi also invalidated. Drivers are struggling. Tim De Geyer is going to be the next man to actually get a time on the board, would you believe? And he's now just entering the 3rd sector. Oh, taps the wall there, and that's invalid, and there's a lot of guys struggling around Marina Bay. Theo Leclerc, let's see what he can do. Down towards the 16-17 chicane, now under the stand, or it is a motorway bridge during regular season. He's going to be the next man to get a time in on the board, and that really goes to show how difficult this Marina Bay actually is. Around the final corner, is this going to be top of the timing sheets for Theo Leclerc? It is. It's going to be a 38.9 for Theo, and he gets a lap finally in on the board. I believe next man to get a lap. No, Liam Houseman invalidating again. It'll be Luke Davies, the man looking to try win an FVRA title after being cruelly denied the FVR one. He's going to go top of the timing sheets with a 35.8, and that's not a bad lap at all for Lightning Luke Davies, number 95. We'll have to wait and see. Brady saying only 11 people. Well, yes, Brady. Are you showing up to FVR tomorrow? I highly doubt it. But we'll see here. There's Brendan White starting a qualifying lap for Aston Martin. 2 Aston Martin representations tonight. He heads down towards turn number 1. He's on a set of the mediums. It's a classic trademark for the Irishman, is to do a lap on a set of mediums when everyone else would use 3 sets of softs. Around Singapore, it's more difficult to use 3 sets of soft though because of the timing. It's a very long circuit, hence why we have a very long race, because it is a fair few laps around Marina Bay. But here comes Brendan then, down towards turn number 7. Gets the car rotated in. Nice. Not a bad job this so far for Brendan White. Exactly, Brady. Through turn number 9 for the Aston Martin Cognizant. And down towards the Singapore Sling. Gets the car turned in very nicely indeed. And down towards the Anderson Bridge. Not a bad attempt this one, actually. I'll give him that. It's definitely not a bad run. Oh, that's Miro Regibui in the wall after the Anderson Bridge. He's locked up a front there, and camera angles are very laggy this evening. We'll try and fix that. Track limits, yeah, I know. Brendan White locks up a front there. Brendan drives with one foot. There's a fun fact. He does not use one of his feet. Luke Davies improves pole time to a 35.6, meaning that currently nobody is close to that at all. Maybe Brendan can get himself up into second place. It's not been a bad effort this at all on the medium tyres. Rounding the final couple of corners into the final braking zone. Is he going to chuck it in 6th gear? Absolutely full commitment there for the Aston Martin. Great run, and he goes to third just behind Theo Leclerc. Not a bad lap there as Red Bull starts another lap. Miro Regibui, we've seen him have a bit of contact with one of our fantastic walls around Marina Bay. Scott Sandevier is invalid his lap time. A lot of invalidations. We'll stick with the Red Bull Honda. Running a Williams helmet. I'm not sure they'll be too happy with that. Right up against the outside wall. Really running close there is the Red Bull car. Avesta for the win, says Brady. Well, Avesta would need to outscore Liam Houseman and Luke Davies. He needs to outscore Luke Davies by... well, he's actually ahead of Luke Davies, so he needs to outscore Liam Houseman by 12 points, and then just needs to make sure Luke Davies doesn't outscore him by 4. That's the way it works there. Here comes Chloe through the Anderson Bridge. Very laggy through there, we do apologise. Brakes just at the outside pillar. You'll see it there, it's a real concrete pillar. Looks beautifully architectured, I do have to say. I'm no architect, but it definitely looks pretty. 50-metre braking board. Downshift to 3rd gear, get the car rotated in, run a little bit along the curb in the white line. You don't want to run too far over, you will invalidate, as there's Luke Davies piling out of the way. Under the massive DHL board, really DHL sponsored sector. Into this next corner, very tricky. We've seen Lewis McWilliam plant his Alfa Romeo into the wall back there in FVRA Season 2. He was reported for purposely crashing that day. The decision was a race ban by Stuart Curran Demirtas, but it was overruled. Here comes Leclerc around the final corner. It's going to go to second on the grid and beats the other Red Bull of Theo Leclerc. It's not a bad lap at all for the Red Bull car. Here's Juan Hernandez though. Oh, that's not what that camera should do, but yeah, that's definitely not what that camera should do. But anyways, we continue down towards turn number 14. Goes Juan Hernandez, the Spaniard, into the braking zone. Not a bad lap this from Juan Hernandez. He's just crossed the 117 mark, which is normally a good representation heading into the final bit of this 3rd sector. There goes Tim de Geyer on the set of mediums. That 2nd spot. That's a really good lap for the Dutchman. It's currently a Ferrari 1-2 out the top of the order, but here comes Juan Hernandez. Final braking zone, chucks the car in. Is this going to be able to challenge the top 2? It is. It's gone 2nd and 4/10 off pole on the set of mediums. Juan Hernandez is a force to be reckoned with tonight here in this FVRA adventure. Liam Houseman, the man currently leading the championship, currently 10th in qualifying and validated 2 previous runs. We've 7 minutes 40 left on the clock. Down braking zone. Decent run through there for Liam Houseman. Can he get it rotated over the Anderson Bridge? He absolutely does. Not a bad effort there. Breaks the concrete pillar and gets the car flicked in nicely. Short shifts up to 3rd gear. Make sure that car is in a straight line for accelerating. It's absolutely where you need it to be. Brakes at the 50-metre board. Short shift up the gears through here. It'll give you the best straight line speed. You can see him going up very quick there. Over 70 gear shifts a lap around this Marina Bay circuit. Really impressive stuff. Brake just at the 50-metre board. Rotate, flick the car in. Get the car in over the curbs. 3rd gear is the best one to run through here. He's short shifted up to 4th and downshifted to 2nd. So an interesting driving style for our championship leader through there. Flicks it into the final corner. Is this going to be pole position for Liam Houseman? It's gone to 2nd, and that's not a bad attempt for the Dutchman from Feyenoord. The man currently looking to win his first FVRA title, Scott Sandevier. Yeah, doesn't get a lap in, must have been invalid. Jack Nixon is 4/10 of a second up, he's currently 4.8 seconds off. The pole time of Luke Davies, it's a really wide field spread here this evening in Singapore. It'll be a cause for some interesting racing. Scott Sandeveer, we'll have a look here. Decent run so far by the AlphaTauri Scott. He's currently coming up behind Liam Houseman. To apologise for the black box on the top left of your screen. Somebody is sending screenshots somewhere. But anyways, braking just after the 100 for Scott. Fairly decent qualifier is Scott. He's normally well up there, so this shouldn't be too surprising to see a good lap go in by the AlphaTauri. Under the bridge now. Beautiful other bridge there, you can see just in front. That's somebody improved. That is Brendan White's gone ahead of Theo Leclerc. He's did 4 laps on that set of mediums, so they're going to be pretty tainted by the time he starts the Grand Prix in them, if he's starting the Grand Prix in them. Decent run by Scott to the line. It's going to be a 8th position, just beats Jack Nixon. Probably not the most impressive time, as I believe Avesta has broken his front wing. There goes Miro Ejibwe. Yeah. It's now 7th on the grid. Interesting to see, bit of field spread, and interesting to see the different tyre choices. It's Brendan White and Miro Ejibwe, the 2 guys on the mediums, although a best lap for Juan Hernandez and Tim De Geyer. Might just see them stay on the mediums and not go out instead of softs, but Juan definitely has pace for pole. If he did go out for it on the run, Avesta is is he run out of fuel here? Might possibly have ran out of fuel and the entrance is a bit... No. What's happening here then? Oh, he's been disqualified for blocking pit lane, and that's a very interesting incident for the man looking to try take a championship win. He's 12 points off the top, and that's not a good way to start proceedings. Here in the Singapore Grand Prix, he's a disqualification in qualifying for blocking the pit lane. That is the incident there. Very disappointing for him. He has a lot of work to do in the race, especially with Liam Houseman starting from 2nd on the grid. But Luke Davies doing what he needs up at the top. He needs to win this race, really. He's 15 points off Liam Houseman. If he wants to try win here in Marina Bay. Leave Brendan White. No, he's into the pits now, finally. He did 4 laps on the medium compound tyre and an in-lap. So, not the best way to keep the tyres cool. Luke Davies is out for his final run, I think. He's currently on the provisional pole position. As he rounds the infield here in Singapore. There's nobody really on a timed run. I believe Miro is now making his way into the pits. Also taking it surprisingly slow. We've seen Avesta get disqualified for that. You can see he's at a pit lane. Oh, Scott getting it all wrong in there. But we'll stick with Luke Davies. He's miles in front of everybody here, so he should be able to get a clean run in. Let's see as he heads under the bridge what he can do. This could be a crucial lap for Luke Davies. This is a crucial lap to seal a championship. He rounds the final corner with 2 minutes 20 on the clock. And this needs to be a lap to keep him on the pole position. Crosses the start-finish line, needs to push the absolute maximum out of his Scuderia Ferrari car through turn number 1. Right on the limit there. You want to be just short shifting up the 4th gear to get the traction out as he heads down towards turn number 5. That is a DNF. That's Scott Sandeveer. retiring in the pit lane. Here comes Luke Davies though, down, opens the DRS, pushing right to the wall. Take every inch of track you possibly can around Singapore. It's absolutely crucial through turn 7, right on the limit, on the apex, but it's worked out well for him. He's still on it for a good lap here. Luke Davies, the man, he's never got a pole position before here in FVRA. He's looking to take one today. He's looking to take one to possibly fight for his first driver's title, through where the Singapore Sling used to be, and checks the car in nicely. Not a bad attempt here as he heads over the Anderson Bridge. The lights flashing. And is the sector time flashing purple? We'll have to wait and see. Lenny Glenn's got to 4th in red for the Red Bull. Very good qualifying result that would be. He's 0.2 of a second up. Exactly where he needs to be. Exactly where this Ferrari needs to be put. Rounding the infield now as he heads down towards 15. Into 16. Running over the curb. You can see beautiful camera angles as he heads down. He's pushing this car to the limit. It's a beautiful qualifying lap so far. 3rd gear through here. Short shifting up to 4th and short shifting back down to 3rd. The number 95 of Luke Davies is on a run here, and he's on a run to seal a championship through the final few corners. Precision and perfection for Luke Davies. It's a 35-4. Will that be beaten? Oh, it'll be hard to tell as we're starting the final run. Seal Leclerc, as that is Liam Houseman actually out of the session. Doesn't feel he can improve. Juan Hernandez could well improve here. He's on a set of the soft compound tyres. He'll put this car where it needs to be put. That is one thing for sure. Here he goes then. Can he just beat that blistering lap of Luke Davies? Luke has got another lap in. Is he pushing? Absolutely. Through the Singapore Sling. Juan Hernandez is actually behind them, so Luke will still have to wait a little bit. Running right along the wall, and that might just be a mistake for Luke Davies. I think he's just run that one a bit too close to the apex. Juan Hernandez over the Anderson Bridge. This isn't a shabby lap at all for Juan Hernandez. It's what he needs to produce. We'll see the sector split times. He's 7/10 up. He's in pole position as it stands. Can he just nail this final sector? He's a very good driver. The Spaniard at the wheel of this car is Theo Leclerc. He improved to 4th on a set of the mediums. Brilliant lap by Theo Leclerc there. That's exactly where Red Bull want their 2 cars. 4th and 5th. Great attempt. As here comes Juan Hernandez. Luke Davies improves his time even more. Will that just be enough to see him succeed here in qualifying? Rounding the final corner, Juan Hernandez, can he improve to take the pole position? Absolutely can. It's a 35-1 for the Spaniard to take the final pole of the season. I cannot see anybody beating that. That is a superb lap here in qualifying. Brendan White puts himself up to 6th, but it might just be beaten by Tim, who's currently in 7th. Rounds the final corner. Will the Ferrari go? Oh, it won't be an improvement for Tim, I don't think. I think he might have been validated at the final corner. If so, heartbreak. But Juan Hernandez, not in a title battle. The previous champion, currently on pole here in Singapore. It's Luke Davies in 2nd and Liam Houseman 3rd. Leclerc in 4th, Clyde Glenn 5th. Brendan White 6th. Tim Dyer 7th. Miro Regibui 8th. Scott Sandiva in 9th. Jack Nixon in 10th, and then Vesico Badi also in the title battle here, getting disqualified in qualifying. That's a big mistake for him. He'll start 11th on the grid. It'll be mediums for Theo, for Tim, and for Miro. So we need to watch for them here. They'll be on the alternate strategy for the race. We're going to have some rain in the race, remember folks, so starting on the mediums could be a crucial strategy. Let us know down below who you think is going to win this FVRA title battle. It's going to be a good one for sure. Welcome to Marina Bay, ladies and gentlemen. It is in Singapore, a very, very small Asian city. But we are here for the FVRA season finale of Season 6. The first race in Singapore, the first night race in Formula 1, was held in 2008. It is a 5.063 kilometre circuit with 23 corners. Humidity levels of 70% around here means drivers can lose 3 to 4 kg weight through fluid loss. Vettel had to do that with no drinks back in 2015. A fun fact is that there is 16,000 lights connected by 108,423 metres of cable, producing 3,180,000 watts, and that is enough to power 20 Formula E cars for 5.5 races. So a lot of lights around this Marina Bay circuit. The championship battle is between Liam Houseman, Avesta Gobadi, and Luke Davies. Liam Houseman on 96 points, Avesta Gobadi on 84, Luke Davies on 81. Juan Hernandez, though, has got himself right into the mix. He's starting on pole position for the Singaporean Grand Prix. The Aston Martin man, a previous champion, will be leading the two men battling for it. The other man battling for it is Avesta Gobadi. Of course, he starts 11th on a set of the medium compound tyres. We will have some rain later on in the race. It is forecasted by the Singaporean Weather Commission. And it's definitely going to be a classic finish here. It is a collision between the Irish man and woman, 5th and 6th from between Glennon and White. Something's happened there. They've been disqualified from the formation lap. The final race for FVRA here on the F1 2021 game, but not the final race. For us as an organisation, you can join us tomorrow for the Formula Virtual Racing, the main tier season finale around Singapore. The driver's title there is decided. However, the Constructors' Championship is not, between Ferrari and Red Bull Racing. Juan Hernandez rounds us onto the grid, but it will be Avesta Gobadi who lines us up in the final grid slot. P11. There's only 11 runners here. It's a very, very small number. So if something goes wrong, it could go wrong big time. Lining us up on the grid for the final time in Singapore for FVRA. Liam Houseman just needs to score good points today, and he will win the driver's title. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. We go racing in Singapore, and that's a great launch from the outside of Luke Davies. He's up alongside Juan Hernandez into turn 1. Who breaks the latest? They both break the latest. Look at Liam Houseman trying to swap himself into championship position. Juan Hernandez just has the traction on the outside, side by side on the opening lap. Juan Hernandez is going to keep his lead here, and Luke Davies has just tapped the rear of him. This could allow Liam Houseman to have a look. He needs to be careful here, and that's Brendan White. A very early exit out of this Singapore Grand Prix. We're down to 10 runners, and now we're under the virtual safety car, meaning Luke Davies might have just been saved there because Liam Houseman had a run on the Ferrari man. Great opening start here for Juan Hernandez, somehow defending his lead into turn number 1. Tim gets a spot. Scott is up 2 positions with Avesta Gobadi up to 9th, attacking Miro Regibui. But very interesting start there. Looks like we're still going to stay under the virtual safety car. Very early exit to the final race of the season for Brendan White. For Aston Martin, it'll be the Aston Martin of Juan Hernandez left in the Grand Prix, currently leading. No, I'm not sure they'll be too disappointed with that, but Aston Martin / Racing Point do have a bit of a history of DNFing around Marina Bay here in real life and in F4. Looks like we're going to get ready to go racing anytime soon. We don't have a signal from the stewards just yet, but we are under the virtual safety car, which normally lasts less than a lap or so. And now we go racing once again here in Singapore. It's a poor restart for Luke Davies. Going to be under pressure from his championship rival Liam Houseman. This is a battle that could decide the proceedings here in the Drivers' Championship standings. But no, looks like Luke has just about got back up to speed fairly quickly there. Looks like Tim De Geyer is going to dive one down the inside for the Scuderia Ferrari. And now he's looking, well, there'll be a bit of bias across the board here for Tim because his teammate is Luke Davies, but his best friend is Liam Houseman. So, a bit of an interesting thing there. Juan Hernandez is the fast lap of the race, as to be expected on the opening lap here in Singapore. Looks like Avesta Gobadi spotted a bit of trouble. He's in for an early stop, and Avesta Gobadi might have just found himself in a spot of bother here, and that might be his title chances over. course, Vestico Body is second in the championship, but Luke Davies would currently outscore him. Luke Davies would currently outscore everybody apart from Juan Hernandez, but it would not be enough to seal the driver's title because Liam Houseman does have a 15-point advantage over Davies. Through the opening phase now, all drivers, apart from Vestico Body, managing to stay out of the pit lane, but Brendan White being the only real retirement so far. Vestico Body out of the pit lane. It's going to be a set of the hard compound tyres for the Ukrainian. There's Luke Davies right all over the rear wing of Juan Hernandez. Beautiful onboard shot here. We'll take a look on how Luke Davies is operating things in this Scuderia Ferrari. You can see Liam Houseman slowly starting to fall up, but there's no real threat behind from FVRA Leclerc just yet. He's still in a comfortable spot here as Liam Houseman. And as it stands now, he would still seal the driver's title. Down into turn number 17. And now into 18. We normally see someone shatter their front wing and their hopes and dreams in that corner. It's nobody on this occasion. As Jack Nixon is having a bit of trouble at the back in the second Mercedes. It's Mercedes 8-9 between himself and Miro Regibui. The latter being ahead. Luke Davies, it's the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He's running comfortable as it stands, but he just needs bad luck behind him. Not really his luck. He's doing what he can do here. Of course, he just needs to outscore Liam Houseman by 15 points. As Luke taps the wall a bit, but keeps his end plane. Luke Davies would have to win the race with Liam Houseman finishing outside the top 5, really. It's not looking like it's likely for Liam Houseman here. He's running comfortable, but looking under a bit of pressure now, really, from FVRA Leclerc on the set of the mediums. Of course, with the rain in this race coming later, anything could really happen. If you do get overtaken, it could be meaningless. Yellow flag, sector 1. It's a Vestico Body. And I think his title chances are probably in shatters here. He is driving with a controller tonight, and I think he's no control over the results of this race. Purple sector 2 for Juan Hernandez, so he's back up to speed here around Marina Bay. A bit of a poor lap 2, but lap 3 has been much better for the Spaniard. He's finished runner-up twice in the FVRA Championship. He has won the FVRA Championship. Not able to do it again this season, but he definitely loved it. Here we go then, down the main straight. Luke Davies looking for an overtake, but he's not quite close enough yet. That DRS definitely keeping him within touching distance from Hernandez. Look at this, this could be big. FVRA Leclerc is all over the back of our championship leader Liam Houseman, and now onto the back straight, the longest straight here in Marina Bay. This could be a real opportunity for FVRA Leclerc to take a podium spot here. He's not he's on the title battle, he doesn't care. He'd love a podium finish to round off a very, well, it could be said unsuccessful season for FVRA Leclerc. His season 5 was much better for the Frenchman. And that's Scottson De Vere in the wall. Oh, not quite sure what he's doing. I believe he's trying to end this race. And if that causes a safety car, it'll be a hefty penalty for Scott. And it has. That'll be a very hefty penalty for Scott. We're under safety car conditions. Be interesting to see the strategy. Whoa, that was a mouthful. But that was not pretty on what caused it. But we will see here what these guys do. The soft tyres don't really last a long time around here, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see Juan Hernandez in. We absolutely will see the Aston Martin in. We'll see almost everybody. Oh, Liam Houseman crossing the white line. He's lucky it didn't happen later, and there we go. Tim De Hire will lead the Singaporean Grand Prix. Hard compound tyres for Hernandez, hard compound tyres for Houseman, mediums for Davies. Oh, look at that, that's a swap in the pits. What's gone on there? It's a swap in the pits. Liam Houseman now ahead of Luke Davies. Pierre Leclerc has gone for the hard top. I'm surprised he pit, really, because we do have rain coming. Miro's almost gone to the wall, but Miro has gone for the soft compound tyres. And Jack Nixon is... well, that's not Jack Nixon, that's Sylvester Gobadi. That's Jack Nixon. He's stayed out because he only pit for a set of the mediums. But it'll be Tim who leads us away from the safety car restart, followed by Juan Hernandez. So... will Tim do his teammate, do his friend a favour? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But I imagine that he will probably do neither. The Aston Martin safety car leads here in Singapore, and then it's the Aston Martin F1 car in second position of Juan Hernandez. And Juan is a known winner around Singapore. He won the FVRA Season 5 Singapore, or was it Season 4? It was Season 4 he won in FVRA, the Singaporean Grand Prix. It was Brady Pollock who won in Season 5. He's won the FVRA Singaporean Grand Prix as well. So he's not doing too shabby around the streets of Singapore these days, is he? We're waiting on Sylvester Gobadi to catch up here for AlphaTauri. The Ukrainian, currently in the championship fight, but is driving on pad this evening, meaning he's not really going to have a chance, but he's kind of expected that. He's more driving, just to see if anything happens. Who knows? Liam Luke could both DNF, and then he'd be kicking himself, wouldn't he? But he's currently in P9. Not really where he'd like to be, is it? But he's giving it his best shot, and that's all we can appreciate. He is giving it his best. Jack Nixon on debut in 8th, Miro Regibui in 7th, also on FVRA debut, but he has raced in the main tier. He has raced in FVR. It's like Lennon in 6th, our very own admin, raced since the very first season of this brilliant tier. Not won a race, or not won a race, but has finished second on the podium in the first ever race on this game, ironically. It was the Season 4 Canadian Grand Prix, is where Glennon finished on the podium. It was, well, it was me who won the race on track, but I got a silly penalty and finished 4th. But, yeah, good result there. Best finish of her career. Tonight, though, a real opportunity to better that. Could it be a race win? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Pierre Leclerc in 5th for Red Bull. Drove for Alfa Romeo last season, and with the name Pierre Leclerc, it was quite funny how he didn't move to Ferrari. He moved to Red Bull, but no relation to the Leclerc family. It's just the same surname. It actually is genuinely a surname as well. His surname is Leclerc. Very common surname in the Monegasque / Côte d'Azur / France region. Luke Davies, the man fighting for the title, you all know his name, and is absolutely for sure he is currently 4th. Liam Houseman in 3rd, our current championship leader. Sylvester Gobadi almost caught up on this lap. As Scott has said that he prefers not to speak. If he speaks, he'll be in big trouble. Avesta's no front wing, and that's just something I've noticed. Avesta Gobadi is unfortunately missing a front wing, meaning we won't be going in this lap. We will be doing another lap as he's tapped the wall again. And he's back into pit road, is the Ukrainian, number 13. So we're going to waffle away for another lap or two as he gets that front wing changed. let us know down below your predictions, because as you can tell, the safety car periods are not the funnest part of mine job or your viewing experience. So let us know down below who you think will win. It's on course to be a Juan Hernandez victory, but we've a bit of rain coming later in the race. It's a very long race around Singapore, I will warn you, so it may be within the next hour. We'll see it. Aston Martin looking well, leading the pack. The new introduction to 2021 was the Aston Martin safety car integrating, or swapping, you could say, with the Mercedes. I have no idea which track they were at, which is which, but they were there somewhere, and that's all that matters. We did not travel to Singapore in 2021. We will travel in 2022, and we will travel back to green flag speed because the safety car is in this lap. It will be Tim de Hire who leads us away. Here we go then, Tim de Hire to lead us away. Safety car's not in the pit lane yet, meaning we will have to wait, but he will hold it as late as possible. So Juan Hernandez does not get the run on him down the straight. First ever safety car restart for Tim de Hire here in FVRA, the Ferrari man, and we go racing. That's a brilliant restart for Tim. Miro's dropped it at the back. The Mercedes man is round, and look at the two title protagonists. Luke Davies almost taking a trip into the Singapore Airlines wall. Side by side through turn number one, they make a bit of contact, but both survive, and that is quite crucial. Luke Davies getting a tap on the front, must have cold tyres, the Ferrari man, but he did get the run on his title rival. That could have been crucial. If one of them ended up on the wall, would have been a big moment there. Here comes Juan Hernandez, gonna get the run on Tim de Hire to take back the race lead. He's on the hard compound tyres, he's got the run, he breaks later. Juan Hernandez back into the race lead, but he runs wide. Not gonna have to concede that one though. He was ahead into the braking zone, and now we are back to the Hernandez train. Although Tim, will he back off Liam into Luke, or will he just let these two go at it themselves? I imagine the latter is what he'll do. Esteban Gobadi and Jack Nixon battling at the back here. Jack Nixon, for some reason, defending that corner. It's not my personal choice, but he must have a unique driving style, I suppose. Moving onwards, that's a yellow flag. Oh, Miro's binned it out the pit lane. That's not very good. Miro has binned it out of the pit lane. As there goes Liam Houseman down the inside of Tim, almost pushing Tim into the wall. Luke Davies is going to try and get the run on the other Ferrari man. That's Jack Nixon, who has left the session after his slightly puzzling defending. And now, is this going to work the other way around? Is Tim going to back up Luke? Because, of course, Liam Houseman and Tim are good friends. And, yep, Luke is being backed right up into the... Oh, Houseman around! Liam Houseman is around and may receive a penalty for resetting the track if reported. Liam Houseman has binned it. Not in the wall, thankfully. He's still going, but that could be a crucial moment here in this FVRA title battle. Liam Houseman of Alpine has spun and is now 7th. Still wouldn't lose the title as it stands, but if Luke Davies could find himself in the lead of this race, which he might find himself on the second pedestal of the podium, as he's now attacking Tim de Hire. The Ferrari man defends, trying to do a job for his friend. Luke Davies doesn't chuck one up the inside, but the Red Bulls do. The Red Bulls are scrapping. That's landing up the inside of Leclerc, and now around the outside. Is this one going to work? Both don't scrape the wall. Leclerc has to back out and has a bit of a spin. McLennan up to 4th, very good move, apart from the bit of contact, but otherwise a decent move. Davies is being backed right up here by de Hire, Houseman and the Gobadi. This could end badly, the two other title rivals. Houseman just about gets past. That would have been a heart in the mouth moment for Liam Houseman. That is Miro Regibui. He's under threat of going a lap down here. 2 laps after the safety car restart. Here comes Davies down the inside for Luke Davies. Big optimistic send for the young Briton. It has not worked, and now Glenn is right on the back of the Ferrari here. This race is working out well for Red Bull. It's Ferrari versus Red Bull. You can catch more Ferrari versus Red Bull action in tomorrow's FVRA season finale, but for right now, there was a great scrap going on here, and ironically, the two Red Bulls are against each other and the two Ferraris are against each other. There is no team unison here, unlike Hernandez and Marsh in the main tier. Heading the final corner, Juan Hernandez leads this Grand Prix by 3.4 seconds. You can see the two Ferraris trundle around the final corner, but Davies has to defend from Glennon behind, which is not something you probably expected to see after the gap up the front, but that's a bit of contact between the two front Ferraris, and Luke Davies might just have to pressure De Hire into a mistake here, because he doesn't look like he's getting past. DRS is now activated, because we are on the third lap, and you can see it's wide open as Theo Leclerc, a bit of a slide behind. Here comes the two Ferraris. De Hire got to defend from Davies, pushes him right against the wall. Luke Davies, bit of contact there, bit of wheel banging, and Luke Davies now, he's pushed De Hire off the circuit. De Hire doing everything he can to keep his Ferrari in front. Great scrap here. Davies almost ending up at the wall. Glennon could get involved in this one, but no, Luke Davies, I think, might just have the spot unless De Hire chucks it up the inside. It's something he might consider doing. Davies defends, De Hire sticks it up the inside, and he's out of the race. Big collision, big mistake, and rightfully his own fault. Tim De Hire smashes the inside wall, and now we go under safety car. That's what you get for over defending, says Luke. Tim De Hire chucked it up the inside, did everything for his friend Houseman he could, including a personal sacrifice. Now, Juan Hernandez will be kicking himself. He had a fairly decent lead because of that. Juan Hernandez pits, I presume, for a set of the mediums, and when the rain's going to hit, that's a big thing. I imagine Davies will stay out. I don't really see any reason for pitting. Oh, Glennon does, though. Into the pits. Hernandez on the medium tyres just got a text saying Juan is freestyling his strategy. That's made me giggle. But Juan is going to come out. Was he gonna? Well, he's gonna come out behind the AI of Jack Nixon. So take that as you will. Well, you've still 20 laps to go here, and that is one incident over defending. Look, the two title rivals are together on track again, so round two, ding ding. Here in Marina Bay. I hope I never say that again. That was awful. That's the standard of commentary you expect from me these days. But this was the corner where it happened. Tim De Hire smashed the inside wall and went straight on after over defending from Luke Davies. Oh, you know, he's lucky he didn't take Davies with him. Did everything he could to assist his friend Houseman in his championship battle. And it was successful, because now him Houseman, despite a spin, is right on the tail end of Luke Davies. But Luke Davies does have track position and probably a pace advantage and the better tyres. Him Houseman did qualify in third, but it was Davies who originally took the lead into turn number one, but Hernandez got it back in four. And we are now waiting on Miro Reggiapui, who's currently trundling to turn 4. And the rest of us are at 18. Well, I'm in the commentary box, but you get what I mean. Only penalty of the day is for Avesco who somehow is in third in this Grand Prix. Do not ask me how. And yeah, Miro will be right back on this train, providing he gets here safely. Avesta has simply just said, "I'm third, full stop." So he's as shocked as we are here in the commentary box. yeah, in a track sponsored by Singapore Airlines, we've seen an airline dive bomb by Tim DeHire on Luke Davies. That's what caused his retirement, and then Scott Sandeveer had a bit of a brachio drift in turn 7's runoff, and he planted the wall while trying to get back on the circuit. Totally didn't do it on purpose. And Brendan White was gone by turn number 4 on the opening lap. So those are the 3 retirements here in the finale of FVRA in Singapore. It's currently, as it stands, Liam Houseman will be crowned the Drivers' World Champion, with Luke Davies finishing second. It would be Vescobati third. So the top 3 in the title are all 1, 2 and 3. I'm quite looking forward to this restart, actually. I do have to say, because really Luke needs a Vesta to overtake Liam Houseman, but also needs a Vesta to stay behind Liam Houseman. So it's a bit of a dilemma for Luke Davies. Realistically, you'd like them both to DNF, let's be honest, but you can't get everything you wish for. Has Miro got with us yet? Not quite. He's still a fair bit behind. Theo Leclerc pit for used mediums, which are more worn than the other ones, so I don't know either. I imagine we'll be doing another lap. Here comes Miro. He's pushing it to get with us at the safety car restart. Will there be another lap under the safety car, or will we be in this lap? Oh, I think we're going to have to do another lap here, which is awful news for everybody. Yep, the safety car's past the pit lane. We're going around again under the safety car. Let us know down below who you want to win the race. I could read out some facts, but I've already run out. Which is not great, is this? Oh well. Theo was pit again. Who knows at this point? Meaning Miro, after being almost a lap down, is now not even at the back. So well done to him. He's did well there. He hasn't did too badly for himself. Now would be the absolute perfect time for advertisements, wouldn't it? But we don't have any. So if you are a small business owner and would like to sponsor FVRA or FVR, do get in contact. You can hit us up on Instagram or Twitter, or our email, formulavirtualracing@gmail.com. Make sure to follow our Twitter, follow our Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. During the boring safety car periods, why don't you check out last week's FVR race highlights, which were posted yesterday over the Dutch Grand Prix? You could do that. You could watch maybe the top 5 FVR crashes. Lots of good content on the YouTube channel for you to binge watch in your spare time. But for now, we're going to get ready to go racing, because the safety car is in this lap. Wow, that was brilliantly timed. But we get ready to go racing. It'll be Luke Davies who does the restart. He's did many before in his career. He'll be doing another one. We'll see what he can do here then. This will be interesting. Does Houseman stick behind and come under threat from Gobadi? Or does he lick that stamp and send it? Into the final sector. Safety car is in, and we go racing in Singapore. Brilliant restart from Luke Davies. He's caught out everybody there, and through the final corner we go. Liam Houseman's going to be really under pressure from Vesta Gobadi, but he's made a mistake as well. And really, the real battle, no, that's an AI. That's Jack Nixon's AI. Everybody is really spread out there. And now, Juan Hernandez has passed Jack Nixon. Theo Leclerc gets past Miro Reggiapui into turn number 3. That's up to 7th for Theo. There goes Juan Hernandez past Avesta Gobardi. Avesta's really struggling with Pat. It's his first ever race, his first ever day on controller. He's normally a wheel user, but unfortunately his sim rig is in a different location to he is at the moment, but has still shown up tonight to try and win his title. Juan Hernandez is going to be really quick in these set of mediums compared to Liam Houseman, and this could be a real nail in the coffin for Liam Houseman if he does get stuck behind. There goes Lee Glennon past Jack Nixon, and there goes Theo Leclerc past Jack Nixon. Jack Nixon will be overtaken by Miro Reggiapui any second. There goes Juan Hernandez, more successful move than Tim De Geyer was, and now Houseman is residing in third. It would still be enough to win the title, because Luke does need to outscore him by 15 or more points. Sorry, by 16 points. Houseman will win on countback. Fastest lap of the race belongs to Luke Davies, actually, so he's not doing too bad for himself here. There goes Theo Leclerc past his teammate Lee Glennon for Red Bull, and that is Leclerc now up to 5th and attacking Avesta Gobardi, but Luke Davies is under real pressure here from Juan Hernandez, and unlike Houseman, Luke Davies does have to defend this one because he does need the result. Houseman can just coast round. There goes Leclerc. Oh, Gobardi in some trouble. Gobardi in some trouble. And the Ukrainian is struggling there. Juan Hernandez is going to attack Davies, possibly down towards turn number 7, in through turn number 1 though. He's going to have to stick behind. Could attack him into turn number 4. Would it be a real optimistic overtaking spot? Here he goes though. Juan Hernandez tucks into the slipstream. He's got to send one down the inside. No, he's not. Backs out at the right point, and had to say clever decision there by the Spaniard. He's going to tuck into the slipstream. Going to tuck to the inside wall. And Juan Hernandez is going to lead the FVRA Singaporean Grand Prix once again for the 3rd time this evening here in Singapore. We're almost halfway through this race. It's been a long one so far, but the action is really just getting started, and now Liam Houseman is in an even better position. Luke Davies scoring 19 points, Liam Houseman scoring 15 points, and that is why it is very close. We drop back a bit. There's been a bit of a mistake there for the Red Bull of Glennon. Really falling off the back of Leclerc, but still running in a solid 5th spot. Not a bad attempt at all. Juan Hernandez already has a second gap. That's Miro Reggiapui past Gobardi. And the Ukrainian currently residing in Iran. Oh no, never mind. He's back up to 6th. There goes Reggiapui in the wall. Oh. Well, he's back on his feet now. Well, he's not on his feet. He's back in a straight line now. Manages to avoid damage despite the very, very long turnaround. Juan Hernandez sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Luke Davies is pulling away from Houseman, and now Houseman is under pressure from Leclerc. And there goes Miro Reggiapui again. He's now losing to his AI teammate, which isn't great for the portfolio. Look at Leclerc right in the back of Houseman. This is what Davies needs. He needs Theo Leclerc to put up his usual action. And here he goes, Theo Leclerc on the outside of Liam Houseman. No defence really from Liam Houseman. Great straight line speed on the Red Bull Honda. And now Theo Leclerc is up to 3rd, meaning Liam Houseman, is scoring 12 points. And Luke Davies is scoring 19. So still not enough, needs 8 more points. So if Liam Houseman did drop, well, 8 scores 4. So he's not doing too bad here as Liam Houseman. He's still controlling this one. Here we go then, some fairly large gaps as Miro Reggiapui is into the pit lane. And now Juan Hernandez leads by 2.7 seconds over Luke Davies. Hello to everybody tuning into the stream. If you want an update, it is currently Liam Houseman in 4th, who would win the driver's title. He is just doing enough. And just like his fellow Dutchman Legend Rosenberg, who won the main tier last week in the Netherlands, he would do it again, being the first ever nation to win both series titles. The Netherlands, a real dominant force in FVRA League racing. Liam Houseman is doing a very good job. Almost a commentator's curse. Liam Houseman was doing a very good job. Liam Houseman's almost ended up in the wall. Woo. That was very, very close for Liam Houseman. He is still in the championship battle, and now Theo Leclerc, I have to say, is flying on these set of mediums. He is now attacking the other title protagonist, Luke Davies. Of course, there's 3 men who can still win the title. Technically 4 men, but Tyler Davison is absent tonight, currently living the life in Malta. It is Luke Davies, Liam Houseman and Vescobadi. Vescobadi in 6th, currently not in championship winning position, or currently not close to it. Here comes Luke Davies, though, trying to defend Theo Leclerc. The Frenchman has been absolutely rapid this evening. He's not had the best of seasons, has young Theo, but he's running very well around the streets of Singapore tonight through turn 17 and 18. And heading under the bridge now. Very close to that inside wall. And that's where you have to be if you want to get the best line. Luke Davies runs a bit wide on 11 lap old mediums. We do have rain coming later on in the race. I don't know how later on, but we do have rain coming later on. As we head around, here comes Theo Leclerc. Luke Davies defends the inside. It's absolutely not going to be enough, as Theo Leclerc is now up to 2nd spot, meaning Liam Houseman is in an even better position to win his first FVR Drivers title. Luke Davies just doesn't even have the pace that Theo does. Could Theo challenge Juan Hernandez? Well, we'll have to see. Juan Hernandez doing a very good job in 1st spot. Ah, that's why the gaps are so big. The gap to the leader. There we go. That's more like it. Hey, Lennon. 91.4 seconds behind Liam Houseman. So since that bit of a moment for Houseman, he is struggling a little bit on those hard compound tyres. But they are 12 laps old, and that's to be expected. Lennon almost in DRS of Houseman. And we'll have to see. Oh, 3-second time penalty for Miro Regiboui. He is currently residing in 8th spot. The 2 Mercedes, 1 AI, 1 nowhere in this race. Through the middle sector. Red Bull looking solid, actually. As we see, rounding the final quarter, Liam Houseman really struggling on those hard compound tyres. When is the rain going to hit? That's what we really want to know. It was Tim DeHire who said we did have rain in the race. As Liam Houseman is looking under threat from the Red Bull behind. He'd still be in title winning position, mind you, because he still would score 10 points for 5th, and that's still perfectly enough to win the title. The only way that would swap is if Luke Davies won the race with a fastest lap, but as it stands right now, Liam Houseman is good on paper to win the driver's title. Liam Houseman, rival of Lightning Luke, and Vescobadi. Oh, swap between the 2 Mercedes. That's Jack Nixon into the pit lane. But yeah, Luke Davies 15 behind Houseman. Gobadi 12 behind Houseman. Liam Houseman resides on 96 points. Gobadi on 84 and Davies on 81. Here comes Glennon attacking Houseman though. Oh, look how slow he is through there, but it's not really his car problem. He's into the pit lane. Houseman is in. He realises the struggle on these hard tyres, and he is in possibly for a set of the mediums. We will have rain later on in the race, according to the weather forecast. But what tyres will it be for Liam Houseman? It's mediums for the Alpine crew. Front wing change for the man currently leading the driver's title. He'll come out of the pits still in 5th here, meaning that's an excellent strategical call by Liam Houseman. As Theo Leclerc is really rocking the streets of Singapore. He's catching Juan Hernandez as Vestigobadi gets a 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. He's in for fresh tyres as well, meaning Liam Houseman will have an even larger gap behind him. Vesta also opting for the medium compound tyres. And that is really it for the battles on track at the moment. The smallest gap is 3.3 seconds between our front two. And if these two started fighting, Luke Davies would look to catch that 6.4 seconds. There goes Mira Reggie Bui. He's past Avesta Gobadi. As we can see, Avesta come out of the pit lane there. On pad tonight is Avesta. Oh, mounts a curb. But on pad tonight is Avesta. And that's why he is struggling more than usual around the streets of Singapore. Back up the front, gap is extended to 3.4 seconds. Theo Leclerc is not quite gaining as much as he was on, say, Houseman or Davies. But Luke Davies is losing a bit of time to Lennon. Lennon looking to take her second FVRA career podium. Last one came 2 seasons ago in the Canadian Grand Prix at Montreal at the Circuit Shields of Villeneuve, on the purpose man-made island in Montreal. 10 laps to go here in the Singaporean Grand Prix. We are expecting rain at some point, but when will it really come is the question. As it stands right now, Houseman could saunter around and would win the driver's title. Just needs to make sure he doesn't DNF from this one. That is all he needs to do. Gap up the front, 2.9 seconds now, so Theo Leclerc finding a bit more pace here up the front. Heading down towards turn 17 and 18. Let's ride on board with him for a couple of moments, shall we? Theo Leclerc would take second spot here. After this pace, well, he could take first spot as the pace is at the moment. Theo is currently 13th in the driver's standings. He only has 11 points, meaning he'd score more today than he has in the rest of the season. Juan Hernandez is currently 6th in the driver's standings, so this win would see him. As my maths brain is just getting to work, the win would see him. The win would see him go to 4th. So, big win today for Hernandez. If he could take it, it would see him up to 4th place in the driver's standings. As Avesta picks up a 3-second time penalty. Lennon would score more points today than she has in the rest of the season as well. So, a couple of big results coming in, and the biggest result would obviously be this one. It would be Liam Houseman taking his first driver's title. He's currently doing it as it stands. Of course, Liam Houseman won in Belgium. Got a podium in front of his home crowd in Holland. And that could be the biggest result of his career up until this one. If he finishes here in Singapore, he would win the title and be the biggest result of his career for sure. But the gap at the front is 2.5 seconds in the... Not really. We don't like to say no battle is not important. Although, speaking of a battle, there goes the Vesco. Oh. Miro. Looks like he's an engine failure. But obviously it isn't an engine failure. As Juan Hernandez comes around to lap Jack Nixon. Jack Nixon is an AI car though. That is the problem there. That's now Miro Regibui a lap down as well. So both Mercedes are one lap down here in the Singaporean Grand Prix. We were expecting rain, but it's still a very clear sky above Marina Bay. You can see the beautiful Ferris wheel on your left. So, still dry here in Marina Bay. All these guys... Ooh, Luke Davies will be close to making it to the end. You can see the rear kicking out just there on the back of the Scuderia FVRA car. Leclerc also putting Miro and Jack Nixon a lap down. Not quite Jack Nixon just yet, but he's put Miro a lap down as well, which is disappointing on a debut appearance for Miro. Oh, Liam Houseman, 3-second time penalty. If we get a late safety car, that could come in crucial. But as of right now, it would have absolutely no effect on him whatsoever. Oh, Theo Leclerc, 3 seconds as well. Has that just confirmed a win for Juan Hernandez? Because now Theo would have to get past and pull 3 seconds on the Spaniard, and he doesn't have quite a pace advantage to do that. Well, in the meantime anyways, that is for sure. Mike Lennon is catching Luke Davies, both on fairly old tyres, and I imagine Liam Houseman will be catching both them as well, because that fresh rubber is working well for the Alpine car. We're almost quite there, folks, almost quite at the end of the race, and for the Houseman fans in the stream chat, definitely some nervy times, because if Liam was to DNF now, Luke Davies would be in championship winning position. In third spot. Oh no, yes, in third spot. He'd currently score 16 points and would take it by a point. So very interesting there for Lightning Luke Davies and Liam Houseman, but Liam is flying. Let's take a look on board, shall we? On the Alpine. Oh, taps the wall, but I don't think there'll be any damage from that. It's these points in the race where he's really thinking here, do I push, don't I push, do I drive cautious, do I not drive cautious, and really sometimes that's where the mistakes can come from. You want to just push it to the absolute maximum and just get the most you can out of the car, because that's when he'll really prove himself as a driver, when he can just shut off like that and just take it by its wings and fly away, I suppose you could say. I had zero intentions for making that one rhyme, but that's how the cookie crumbles. Pierre Leclerc, almost within 2 seconds of Hernandez, but he still would have to get past and pull 3 seconds, and that's not an easy thing to do, especially with Juan Hernandez. As we are rounding into the closing laps of the Singaporean Grand Prix, it's definitely not been the most exciting race of all time, but just look how much Glennon is gaining on Davies here. Could it be an even worse result for Luke Davies if he was to fall to 4th? That would be, no matter what happens, Liam Houseman, that would be it done. And Glennon just on the better rubber as it is. Oh, Luke Davies, he's really struggling here. Will he pull into the pit lane? No, he's going to try and stick it out. We were meant to get rain at some point in this race. It could come very late on in the Grand Prix, and that would be a real spanner in the works for everybody here this evening around Marina Bay. As Chloe Glennon would look to take her second FVRA podium. Currently on course to do so. Very good pace. That's Miro Regibui making what has to be at least his 4th pit stop of the day. It's actually his 5th. It is actually, or is it, this could be his 6th pit stop of the day. Getting a front wing change and going for soft compound tyres. It is his 5th pit. It was his 6th pit stop of the day, so 6th pit stop for Miro Regibui. Gonna go for a fastest lap attempt, but Glennon now in DRS here, so this could get really interesting between Glennon and Davies. Houseman will be licking his lips, just seeing it on the timing screens, just seeing Glennon fly past Davies, because that would be a real howler for Luke Davies to fall off the podium here when he needed really a win to have any real chance, but there's no beating Juan Hernandez and Theo Leclerc today. They are 22 seconds back. Here we go then. Red Bull has to be careful with this move, but it could be one to get success, to get glory, to taste a podium again, to taste that beautiful podium champagne. Oh no, it won't. That's a 3-second time penalty. So unless she has extreme pace, I'm afraid Well, not, but look how much Luke is struggling. Look how much Luke is struggling here on the tyres. The Red Bull just has that pace advantage, and those tyres won't be as shredded as Luke's towards the end of the race, and really Luke Davies can only hope for a safety car for a bit of rain here to risk something. Rounding the final corner, Luke looks decent out of there. It will probably be the move into turn number... Will it be into turn number 7 or will it be into turn number 1 for Glennon? The Red Bull sticks behind here into turn number 3. You just don't want to take things too fast here, because that will end up in misery for the both of them. Rounding turn number 4 into the DRS. Red Bull versus Ferrari. It will be 2 Red Bulls on the podium as it stands, because flying past Luke Davies goes Glennon onto the podium for the for possibly the second time in her FVRA career. Just has to try and find 3 seconds. Easier said than done. Liam Houseman is really catching Luke Davies here, but the real battle up the front. If Dale Leclerc could just pull into a second, we would get a scrap. We mightn't get a leader change, but we definitely get a scrap. And oh, that 3 seconds is almost gone. Is that a puncture? Is that a puncture for Luke Davies? He has lost a lot of time here. The car still has all 4 tyres inflated, but something has gone majorly wrong for Lightning Luke Davies here. Because that gap is now already 3 seconds. We're wondering, could she do it? She did in about 4 corners. Is he just struggling that much? Well, we have to wait and see. I don't think it's a puncture. Just looking at all 4 tyres, they are all still inflated, and he is carrying on, which would make me think it's not a puncture. But as it stands right now, 1, the rain is definitely not hitting. 2, Liam Houseman is on course to win his title, because Luke Davies is struggling and he's falling. I know this will be quite ironic, but just like in Cars 2, McQueen is fading. Lightning Luke is fading. And Liam Houseman is in a very comfortable spot on those tyres. He's driving conservative now, because he would 100% be catching 10 times quicker if he was pushing. He's just conserving. He just wants to bring this Alpine home, and bring it home in P number 5, because that is where the points lie for Liam Houseman. Definitely 3 second gap between the Red Bull and the Ferrari. What about the other Red Bull? 1.2 between Hernandez and Leclerc. Them tyres aren't going to be too nice either. But if these tyres aren't nice, you can only imagine what Davies is feeling. Rounding the final corner, another Cars fan. Well, his nickname is Lightning Luke and he's running 95. It's only respectful to make a Cars reference, isn't it? Sure, it was very funny. In FVRA in Belgium, we had Lightning Luke versus Jackson Turner. And, well, my little Cars fanboy head was off the charts thinking of Jackson Storm versus McQueen. But enough about the movie. And back to the racing action. Glennon on course to finish on the podium. But we're not going to just jinx that just yet. Houseman on course to win his title. But who's going to win the race? Because Leclerc is putting everything on the line. Hernandez lapping Gobati. Might be some internal satisfaction for Juan Hernandez lapping the Ukrainian. If he's a car fan, he probably wouldn't be commentating about what was his name? Darrell Cartrip? Was that the commentator's name? I'd love to be compared to him as Houseman. Bit of a wobble. True there, but he's alright. He's still gaining on Davies. Luke Davies is really struggling, and if he doesn't get a puncture, I will be surprised, because these tyres are shredded. And Leclerc is slowly falling off of Hernandez. And it's funny how there is Leclerc versus a Spaniard. Not a teammates, unfortunately, but a Spanish science fan versus Leclerc. Well, this might be the only ever time where the Spanishman comes out on top. But we'll have to wait and see. We are on to the final 3 laps of the Singaporean Grand Prix. Liam Houseman is currently in Drivers' Championship winning position. Avesta Gobadi is currently a lap down. And I have to say, respect for staying in the race, Avesta, because he's on pad. It's no easy feat. And we have a chant going on in the chat. They're celebrating a little bit too early, and that's something you don't want to do in motor racing. Oh, that's the race done, I think, because Leclerc has just picked up another 3-second time penalty. But he's got into DRS, to be fair to him. So he's chucked it off at an apex, but he has managed to get what he thrives for, and that is the DRS. But unfortunately, he's fallen out of it a corner later, so... Liam, Super Liam is the chant going on, I have to say. I thought One Kiss was more original, but we'll opt for the classic Dutch Super Max rendition of Super Liam Houseman. Currently in championship winning position. The gap between second and third is 30.1 seconds, but Glenn is not going to care here. Just bring it home, come on, bring it home for second podium. I think he can only feel delighted if she wants to bring this one home. A definite fan favourite. A definite fan favourite in the form of Liam Houseman. Oh, Theo Leclerc's run wide there, and he's run wide twice there. Is that 2 more warnings? For his sake, I really hope not, because he could, well, he'd not going to drop down to third. Oh, we're back on a bit of level playing field though, because if Hernandez was to pick up one more, they would be even. The only man without a penalty who isn't in AI mode is Luke Davies, ironically, but Luke Davies, a few more laps and he would find himself on the threat from Liam Houseman. Yellow flag, and was that a heart of the mount moment for all the Houseman fans? No, it was Miro Regibui who has gone off at turn number 13. It's a real heart in the mount moment whenever you do see a yellow flag when your driver is leading a race or leading a title battle. It's really just, oh, please don't be him. On this occasion, it was not Liam Houseman or Luke Davies or Avesta Gobadi, it was young Miro Regibui. Here we go then. We are almost on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. It's not been the most exciting Grand Prix in the world, but the spectacle held its own. That's Miro off again, and Miro is opting for some earlier donuts. However, Miro is Miro's going, oh no. I thought Miro was driving backwards for a second, I can't lie. But he isn't, he's driving the right way around. And Miro is under risk of going 3 laps down to the race leaders, which is unfortunate for him. Rounding the final corner then, to start the final lap of the Singaporean Grand Prix. Juan Hernandez is under threat from Theo Leclerc. Luke Davies somehow still has 4 tyres on the car, which is beyond anything I could ever do around this circuit. But here we go then. Is Theo Leclerc going to chuck one up the inside of Hernandez on the final lap of the season? I would not blame him if he did. I absolutely would not blame him if he did. Here we go then, rounding turn number 4. He's in the DRS, oh, but he's had a wobble, and he's had another wobble, and that could be the end of proceedings for Theo Leclerc in terms of a race win. Yes, it will. Hernandez bopping down the straight there. No poor poisoning for Hernandez, but he's flying down the straight for sure. Theo Leclerc might chuck one up in the Anderson Bridge, but I think this could be proceedings, and it could be a case done. Singapore sling for the final time. Hernandez navigates. Hernandez runs a bit wide actually. It would be so unfortunate for any of these drivers to DNF after enduring what can almost be described as an F1 endurance race. The Singapore Grand Prix, as we said, humidity levels are 70%, mean drivers lose 3 to 4 kg. Well, not quite in a sim rig, but it's certainly a warm experience. You'll need a nice glass of water after. Rounding the final sector though, Juan Hernandez is going to take another FVRA win here. He's on course to do it for Aston Martin. It'll be the final race win of the season, and he will promote himself up to 4th in the drivers' standings as it stands. But here in Singapore, there's only going to be one thing we're going to look at after all of this. Juan Hernandez rounding the final few corners, and he's put off the fight from Theo Leclerc. Round the final corner, the Spaniard's going to round off the season with success. Juan Hernandez wins in Singapore. Theo Leclerc will come home in second, taking his first podium of the season. Harry Glenn has got to come home in third position for Red Bull Racing, taking her second FVRA career podium. Absolutely outstanding result. Ernesto Gobadi crosses the line. An absolutely outstanding result for Red Bull is second and third, and Harry Glenn's going to come home to take a well-deserved podium here in Marina Bay. And it's not like it wasn't on pace either. Absolutely outstanding work. Harry Glenn comes around the final corner to take P3 in Singapore. But one thing we're going to focus, there's the two title protagonists together, but the man from Feyenoord in the Netherlands, just like his Dutch faithful last week, Legend Rosenberg, Liam Houseman, champion of the world in Singapore. He's done it. He's taken it for Alpine, and he's held off the fight from Luke Davies. The man from Holland for Alpine. Luke Davies could not take it. It is Liam Houseman's day. He wins the Season 6 FVRA Drivers World Championship. We're going to get him in for an interview, I think. I think we'll get him in for an interview. Asked him, would he like an interview? Hopefully he can do it. Juan Hernandez wins in Singapore ahead of Theo Leclerc in second. Like Lennon in third, second career podium. Luke Davies in fourth. Liam Houseman takes the title and the fastest lap in fifth. He was making sure that Luke Davies did not get that. Escobati sixth, Jack Nixon in seventh, Amir Rajabui in eighth. And your non-finishers were Tim De Geyer, Scott Sandovier and Brendan White. We'll get Liam in for an interview right now, folks. Well, that's if I have him as a friend, actually, which I hope I do. We have him invited now. We'll get him in for an interview. The champion. We'll just wait and see. Can he get with us now? Right on cue, folks. Right on cue. Liam, can you hear us? Well, we're going to say one sentence and you might never get to hear this again, so enjoy it. Liam Houseman, you are the world champion. How does it feel? You had a lot of support throughout the race. There was a lot of people in the chat cheering for you. Yeah, there was a lot. There was a rendition of Liam Super Liam. There was a rendition of Dua Lipa's One Kiss as well in the chat. And there's another comment I seen there. Liam did it for Yana. Would you like to explain that one to us? It was Julius Cragting, I think is how you pronounce the surname. Oh, okay. Well, let's skip forward to that before. But yeah, there was a lot of celebrations in the chat for you. But you are the champion. You can enjoy it. What's the ambition going into next season? Then do you want to repeat it? Oh no, no one can hear you. No, please don't curse just because they can't hear you. Well, I don't think anyway. If you can hear Liam, let us know down in the stream chat. I got a text saying no one can hear that. Oh well. Oh well, now you can hear me. Can you? Well, I think you can hear Liam now. So
Yeah.
we'll try again. Liam Houseman, you're the champion of the world. How does it feel?
It feels amazing, genuinely. I had some tough times, not only with FVRA but other leagues like FVR, and just to win this championship is amazing, genuinely.
Well, we can definitely hear you now because I unmuted my laptop to check. But what's the ambition for next season? Well, let's not even think of that. Let's just celebrate now. How did you manage the race? Because of course you pit off the hard tyres for the mediums. Did you just feel it'll be easier to coast around on mediums, or did you not want to risk a puncture?
I'm gonna be honest. I had front wing damage.
Oh, fair enough. You know what? Fair enough.
Yeah, I have front wing damage, so I was like, yeah, mediums, just drive it out, cruise.
But what was the feeling throughout the race? Were you nervous at all? Because it didn't look like it.
Well, I was kind of nervous at the start, but then I just started getting into my groove and just get more comfortable. And when I saw Luke just started dropping off, I don't know what happened to him. He was quick all race and they just dropped off.
His tyres, I believe, were 24 laps old by the end of the race, so he definitely went. And then he did make a mistake behind Glenn Glennon, but we didn't quite catch that one. But you definitely had a friend in the team, Tim. He put up a good fight, but unfortunately he DNF'd. Did he say anything about it? Because it was not the prettiest crash in the world.
I mean, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna defend a little bit from Luke, and I was like, don't be aggressive, because I want to win this championship fairly, you know. And I think he just misjudged the corner and just hit a wall.
Yeah, I think he missed the do it fairly bit as well, but we'll skip over it. But if you have any questions in the chat, please put them in while we're chatting here with your FVRA champion, Liam Houseman. But we'll wait and see if there's anything come in. Any thoughts from you? Anyone you'd like to thank?
I just want to thank all the drivers, genuinely. Just putting up a great fight, just attending every race almost. Like, the most people attend every race. Yeah, it's, you know, if you want to win a championship, you have to do it with people. And if they can't attend, you know, it's a dead championship, so thank you to all the drivers.
Well, we know... Oh, hold on, we do have a question. It says, is Phoenix MP goated?
Well, I'm in this thing called Phoenix MP, and
it was mentioned a lot. It was mentioned a lot.
And I'm the first champion there, so it feels great.
Someone else also did mention that you're the first champion of whatever's going on there. But we'll let Liam go now to properly celebrate it. And thank you very much, Liam, once again. You are the champion. But that rounds us out here in the FVRA tier. But you can join us tomorrow night in Formula Virtual Racing in Singapore. Once again, we have a constructors fight going on there between Ferrari and Red Bull. You do not want to miss it. 7:30 BST, 8:30 European time. You get to see this man back on track once again, Liam Houseman. Well, I hope. We didn't ask him, but let's hope he does. But we'll get to see all the drivers back at it again for one final time in F1 2021. But from all at FVRA, thank you very much for tuning into this one-time exclusive season finale coverage. Who knows, we might have more next season. But stay safe, stay well, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll catch you next time.